What is going on is egregious beyond any words. People that know the story, people that see the story, people that know the facts, they can't even believe it. It's reprehensible beyond description. It's totally corrupt. But I also know that it's not about me. It's about all of you, and it's about our country. I know that. I fully understand. That's why I got involved. It's about all of us together as a country. Because I used to be part of the club, I'm the only one that confesses. Because of fake news like NBC, which report news very inaccurately, probably more inaccurately than CNN if that's possible. What's happening to McCabe? What's happening to Lisa and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page? What's happening to them? It was a whole setup. It was a disgrace for our country. Everyone knows. Everyone What's happening to McCabe? What's happening to Lisa and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page? What's happening with them? It was a whole setup. It was a disgrace for our country, and everyone knows. Everyone
respect to human rights, the fight against organized crime, the fight against drug trafficking, the fight against corruption. And we are going to also be state transfer that are all common principles to us. We know that both our peoples want to be governed with justice and equality, and that is what both of us are striving for.
We want to thank you very much. This is a great honor to be with you. Well, I think there's a lot of evil on that side. They've gone crazy. They've gone totally crazy. It's too bad. I've gotten tremendous amounts done, more than anybody's gotten done in 3 years, by far. But they're not constructive people.
Right. Who is the whistleblower? Does he have contacts on Schiff's staff? Did Colonel Vindeman leak information to the whistleblower?
Well, I think you're talking about a different
What protects all of us is that the government has to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt, at least under Justice Department standards, before we indict anybody. And that's a pretty substantial hurdle. And no one is going to go to jail, and no one's going to be indicted unless that standard is met.
Trap.
Trap. Trap. Trap. Trap.
And then they start calling for scalps. So, nowadays I'm constantly hit. Why aren't people going to prison for what they did to the president? On the other side, throw Bill Barr in prison. And these things take time.
Trap. Noun. 1. Trap. Definition of trap. Entry 1 of 4. 1. A device for taking game or other animals, especially one that holds by springing shut suddenly. 2a. Something by which one is caught or stopped unawares, also a position or situation from which it is difficult or impossible to escape. Trap.
These things take time.
Trap. 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 Trap.
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. We got a special one here for you today, folks. We got Scott.
What is up, MFers?
What is going on, Patriot?
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I got 1, 2. I'm going to go 2, and 3 and 4. There we go.
Cool.
So I still left all the members up down below kind of scrolling just because what a great period. So we got, just names that'll scroll, but we were in remembrance of what was once and what is now not members. But anyway, I was filling Scott in on all of, other than that, we do talk. It's not like just because he's not here, we don't communicate a little bit, but you are busy. I know that.
Been busy. We went through a spell. It slowed up a little bit now. So.
Well, how was your the last we saw you? You beamed in and did live from Texas. You made it back fine. That was at the beginning of all this.
Yeah. Actually, you guys were struggling here. You were the one sending me information saying they were starting to close things, and I was in Texas thinking, man, it's maybe it has nothing to do with dry heat and good weather.
Yeah.
And then boom, as soon as my trip was coming to an end, we ended up boogieing out of town, and it was a little bit different because it's like listening to being back in school and all the drama and whatnot. Seemed like everybody I talked to, you're gonna have a hard time getting back home to Indiana. They're gonna start shutting states down and hotels down, and you're not gonna be able to drive. And I thought, oh my God. So me being me, I didn't really worry too much, but I did have 2 teenagers with me. And I had my wife and kids back home waiting on me. And then, so everybody's panicking except me. But after about 6 to 10 hours of hearing it from all angles, I'm thinking, well, maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe I'm never going to make it out of here. But we got home just fine.
Yeah, you did. And we're happy for that. So it was a good time. Other than that, you got your job done. You took in a little bit of, looked like you got to, things are still open down there. But you did talk to a state trooper, and he kind of gave, things are shutting down, confirmed.
Yeah, and that's the part that at that point I started getting a little nervous, thinking, man, how far can I make it back to Indiana from Texas before somebody stops me and says, you can't drive any further, because you'd have to, I was going to keep going.
And they weren't arresting anybody yet then either,
No,
which they started doing. So I'm glad it worked out.
I got some fishing in, caught personal best blue cat. He was a big one. And then we limited out on the redfish. My boy and his buddy from school went down, and so it was a good time. I enjoyed it. And then I got back here.
That's good.
And couldn't understand why you couldn't get toilet paper. I know we're past this now, but why toilet paper? 125 years ago, before toilet paper, people were still alive, and how did we ever get here without toilet paper?
I think they said good 2-ply wasn't created till like 30s, right after World War II or World War I.
How did anybody ever survive? It just doesn't make any sense. So that you run into those jerks or assholes, whoever was buying 150 rolls at a time, one single guy, or maybe. And it's like, I got 14 years worth of toilet paper. Well, man, if the end of the world's going to happen in the next 30 days because of this virus and zombies or whatever, you guys, you're never going to wipe your ass with all 140 rolls of those. The least you could do is take what you need, because now a guy like me can't get a household of 7 essentials. You know what I mean? We had to start conserving and rationing one little square at a time.
And they said that might have been put out by, one of the white hats, actually, like, instead of,
I think it was somebody from Charmin.
Well, instead of saying food shortage, which could have made everyone run out and grab food, they said toilet paper. And everyone was grabbing tons of toilet paper, very little food. So as everyone went, it was no toilet paper. I got plenty of meat, plenty of this, plenty of that.
Yeah.
That eventually caught up, and we ran out of certain foods, but... Yeah. It kind of, I don't know. It, like you said, it wasn't that devastating. It was just one of them stupid things that don't even make sense. So,
well, in a situation like this, traveling home, 1,200 miles or whatever, and talking to all the different people that I talk to, and then just going off of my own instinct. Again, we've seen the problem, and the problem is us, people, compounding the problem by panicking and for no reason just blurting shit out on Facebook, and it's like there was a moment there where families couldn't get just essential, I call them needs, but why in the heck should I not be able to get just a little 4-pack of toilet paper for my family? A 4-pack of toilet paper for a household of 7, I gotta imagine lasts a week or two. My wife would know better, but I couldn't even get that because they were just shopping carts full. And I'm thinking, come on.
Come on, people.
The American people are spoiled and ignorant at the same damn time. It's just, I was frustrated. Thank God Nate, he's been on the show with us. You guys know Nate. He saved the day. He dropped off some toiletries and stuff. So at least I had some good folks looking out for my family while I was gone. But what a scam. What a mess.
Uh-oh. I was just saying that they're going to be leaking the audio. So audio, Joe Biden caught pressuring former Ukrainian president to fire prosecutor investigating his son. Now, we remember the video where he's up on stage retelling the story.
You bet your ass I did.
Yeah. I told him, I said, we're going to be out of here in 6 hours. If he's not fired by then, you ain't getting the $1 million.
Right.
Well, Obama said we'd already get it. Well, bull crap. He put me in charge over here, and I already talked to him. It's not coming. Unless. We left within 6 hours. I think he was fired by the time we got on the plane.
Correct.
You know, that's how it came out. But now that was in 13 or 14 or something. He was already, or it was in 2016. He was already out of office. So it's just people are like, oh, that was his bad memory. He's just talking. But no, now there might be, let me see, explosive audio has been released. This is just an hour ago, folks. I haven't seen this. Of former Vice President Joe Biden admitting he pressured former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko to fire Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin, who was investigating Biden's son. So this is released. What do you think of this?
What a real crappy excuse that so many use. Well, you know, that's old news. He's not vice president anymore. Okay, but he did this while being vice president. You wanted to railroad Trump for this same type of accusation, but the Biden one is true. But if I hear one more person use the answer or the excuse of, well, he's not in office anymore, so why does it really matter? Because he broke the law. You know, how quickly we are willing to just, it's not that big of a deal.
This is a bombshell, you guys.
Brags about how he threatened to pull $1 billion in loan guarantees from Ukraine if he didn't immediately fire the prosecutor.
That's that video we've all seen, right?
Yeah.
But this guy says here that Joe Biden brags. This says that video that we've all seen now, that it seems like that clip where he was up on stage bragging about it in 16, because he's not vice president at the time. He's kind of talking back. But now that this leaked audio is going to confirm what he was bragging about, because it says right here, Joe Biden at the 10:20 mark, I'm prepared to a public signing of commitment for $1 billion. Again, I'm not suggesting you want it or don't want it. I'm suggesting. Joe Biden at 14:30 from the November 2016 call that's now been leaked. Congratulations in getting the new prosecutor general. I know there's a lot more to that. I really think that's good. It is going to be critical that he works to repair the damage of Shokin. I'm a man of my word. Now that the new prosecutor general is in place, we're ready to move forward to signing the $1 billion loan guarantee. And I don't know how you want to go about that. I'll leave it to you on how you want to get it done and where you want it done. Ooh, sounds real shady. Oh yeah, you guys. So
corruption.
That is all for no benefit to us. That was all. The audio does not bode well for Biden, who may be behind bars before he can have a chance to win the presidency in November. So I think, again, yesterday, people getting upset, like our Attorney General Barr came out and said, I don't think what Durham's doing is leading in. Durham is looking at some other things, but this is straight something that's going to have to be dealt with.
I thought I seen, was it this morning or maybe yesterday morning, where Barr was, I caught glimpses of it where he said, you know, I can't envision going after Obama, you know, as the president. It would set a bad precedence, but there are a lot of other people that can be held responsible, and I'm thinking,
we're looking at all the people around him.
Okay, but if it includes him, I'm okay with going after the president. I don't care what kind of precedence it starts.
Treason doesn't exclude.
Right, so I'm a little frustrated with Barr on that, although I love the man to death. He's very eloquent. He knows what he's
Was
doing.
it Barr? Well, it's like Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was there in the beginning. He helped form the 9/11, the Patriot Act papers.
Yeah.
We know that Barr helped cover up the Iran-Contra stuff under the Reagan administration, some of that stuff. And it's like, it's this bad stuff. Well, we got to make it look good for the president. Plausible deniability and all that. So all I can say is if we get all the facts and Trump keeps just dumping these D-classes, these phone calls, we make our own decision. Of course, the guilty person that's in the middle of something, like we might think we love this person because it's based off what we know, but if we find out things that are true and it's like they killed 50,000 people with this, or they did this, or they let these people go, and at that point I'm going to be like, I don't like you and you need to be removed. Of course you're in the way saying, oh no, there may be nothing wrong,
Right.
because you're part of it. It seems, oh, that sucks. And this is,
We're going to find out that people that we think we respect or like are also involved. I mean, it can't be this deep. And, you know, I used to say it for a long time. Why none of this stuff ever leaked out? Because it was the
complicity.
Yes, right. It was too big.
we never had Obama shitting on Bush a lot because there was like a mutual. It just goes to that. I guess they kind of worked for the same people. They had the same interests. No. They were Democrat and Republican. No, it was deep state.
Yeah, what was that? The National Treasure movie or whatever with Cage, where each president leaves a little bit
book,
this book,
a secret book,
and gives some advice and some tips, but it's the secret book of presidents, and it's only for their eyes. And it's like there might be a lot to that. There's a reason why most presidents, and I don't know that it's ever happened. I know presidents have been pardoned. Outgoing presidents have been pardoned by new presidents, and from different different aisles across the aisle from one another. I mean, they're pardoning each other. Well, because it's a freaking club, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Trump happens to be the one guy that sounds like he better not count on getting pardoned if he did something crazy. You know what I mean? But so I don't know. I hope Barr doesn't really mean what he's saying, or maybe that's just a ploy to maybe soften up the meat before you really get into the body. You know what I mean?
And again, these other people, Q kept telling us about classification 1 through 99 for 3 years. And we never knew it would get to these things, like in these huge long posts from Q, it'd be class 1 through 99 classified. Well, we just got the 1 through 99 phone calls or the testimonies of all the people. And there was all the people. We got all 99, and then each one of them was like, "Do you know anything about Trump and Russia?" No, there's nothing. I got no proof.
Right.
I've seen nothing. But yet each one of them people went around for 3 years on talk shows and said the opposite.
Correct.
So is maybe Barr playing that game at this point?
Right. They're not stupid.
We don't talk about ongoing investigations, and so we won't get to know the full extent of the story until the books are written, the movies are made, or just the end of it.
Right.
And then we can be like, wow, Barr got arrested and went down because of old stuff that he did back in the day, and they wanted to bring him back in and put him in a position to do the right thing, but he didn't.
Right.
Some of this is actually real lifetime. It's like when we say deep state and then Trump not being part of that, and then there's like this battle going on. It's not all pre-written, folks. It's like a football game.
Right.
2 teams showed up.
Well, I think you're right.
There's
I
moves and counter moves.
Right.
I like to say.
If what he's doing is kind of like what you were saying, once everybody gets all the information out and the public starts seeing this, he's going to have no choice. But see, he'll be able to go back and say, I told everybody several months or a year or so ago, it's not my position to sit here and go after senators and presidents, but now that you, the people, have seen everything, and you suggesting that we do this, so I think it's not really a way to cover his butt. It's just I really believe he's softening up the meat, man. He's brilliant. He really is brilliant. I sure hope, and he can't. There's no way with all of the information that's going to be coming out, if he finds
it might be
these
put to
people
military tribunals out of his hands.
Sure, and that would be okay. But if he finds out, if he covers anything up or doesn't prosecute, then he also puts himself in a noose. So I can't see him being privy to so much information and then like breaking the law by covering it up or not really, you know what I mean? So I think basically all he's really doing is just sitting back and watching it happen, and then he'll have no choice, like almost like a cop. Don't make them do their job. He's
Yeah.
going to end up having to do his job. He knows
Would
it.
you be willing to go to Gitmo if it was, we were all paid for, we got there to go and record and show some of these tribunals to the people, live court hearings, live.
If we could get it funded, I would be on the next plane with you, or at least drive most of the way down there.
Yeah, Guantanamo Bay. We'd have to in Cuba. We'd, this is it is open. I got access. We do have access, folks, to the military bases, to all of them, and even some media would be able to get in. So we're gonna see as that gets closer and closer. There is no doubt at this point. I'm listening to Trump. I think there's a lot of optics. It's called optics. It's called fog of war. We are in war. There's information war. If you don't believe that, folks, well, then, we know that's going on. There's lots of disinformation. There's lots of real information. We've just witnessed CNN and MSNBC for 3 years.
Right.
Do what? They were wrong. Why were they wrong? Well, the people they had on.
Constantly wrong.
Are they going to go back to each one of them people and at least the one thing they could do is have these people back on and say, hey, by the way, last time we had John, actually we had John like 91 times, and you said this. You were wrong. What's up with that? Well, see what they say.
Right.
Like, you actually said this behind closed doors when it was up to you, but now you're saying this when you came onto our show 1 week later. Well, what's up with that? Comey, Brennan, Comey, or who was the one guy, Schiff. He said he had evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, but yet he didn't hand it over to Mueller in time to have Mueller do something with it. So is he still sitting on it?
They played the game. They had the media in their pocket, and it's like anything else. If you sit there and repeat it on TV and the radio and make sure it gets on Facebook enough, sheep start repeating what they hear without even needing... We're no regard to the facts.
Wasn't that
it's just,
Hitler?
Oh, well, look at all them people from D.C. They're all saying the same thing over and over.
Say
and
it
over
loud, say it
so
often.
It must be true. And I'm thinking, or they're all repeating and saying the same thing over and over and over to get you convinced. The human brain.
So you say it loud, you say it often, and then it becomes a fact.
Oh, that was pure Nazism, man.
Yes.
It's all propaganda. And now, and I think that a lot of them sat around going, well, enough time's passed. They're really not looking into that, blah, blah, blah. Now they're all back in the hot seat again, Wow.
Are we taking, well, here's one thing I said. History and I've said it a lot on this channel, but history's his story, right? Remember, his story. History is written by the winners. The losers typically aren't around.
Right.
Sometimes the history...
Tesla was a big loser. Come to find out he was actually a big winner.
Yeah.
But,
They didn't let him be.
Yeah, he was an Edison and didn't have buddies that owned the newspapers.
Napoleon had said, history sometimes is the agreed upon lie. And that seems to be true in the case.
It is what I say it is.
And then people like us are dissenters if you don't go with that agreed upon lie.
Correct.
So right now, I find it funny, like we can all say, well, wait, during Abraham Lincoln, JFK's, I'm sure there was confusion then. We only got history books now, but man, we can't even figure out stuff right now. While we're living
with all this technology. That's correct.
We don't know the coronavirus. We're all like, no, it's a hoax. Other people are like, no, it's real. People are dying. And other people are like, I don't think they're dying from that. I mean, however they orchestrate it's very well, but we cannot figure it out. Something's going to get written in the books.
Do you know why I know we landed on the moon? Because I was told so.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you know what is Epstein? You know why he's dead?
Because I was told he was.
I didn't look underneath that sheet. I wasn't the corner. I mean,
that's why I told people. People are like, he's not dead. And I'm like, he's dead to us. And people are like, what do you mean? And one of my videos 8 months ago, I said, since they put it out that he died and they showed us a body, regardless of if he's really dead or off and drinking some drink with an umbrella drink, kind of in a secluded place, we'll never know. Because for now, for what they've done to us, he's dead.
Yeah.
And we will never hear from him again on the level of like he's alive.
By the way, what's his the big computer rich son of a gun, not
Elon Musk or
Jobs, not Steve Jobs, his
Billy Gates. Billy Gates.
Is all I can say. That man, there is, so let's I mean, when we say this, it won't go very far other than to our listeners maybe, but there is proof that he was on Epstein's plane and on his island. So,
Wow. Oh, yeah, we got the flight logs. He was. We know he was.
Why?
So was Stephen Hawkins.
why?
The guy that was in the wheelchair?
Is it because you guys have so much in common?
No,
I mean-
they don't talk about it. They it's the things that they're into at that level, man. You know, they have all the money, they have all the
My dad used to say, "Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you what you are." Well, you're telling me all these trips, all these times, Steve, not Jobs, but Gates, lots of Hollywood, lots of senators, the Clintons, all these people, lots of times, dozens and dozens and dozens of times, been on that guy's airplane and or at his mansion and or at his big parties, dozens of times. And not one time did they rape little girls or were involved. Oh no, just every time I went there, it was just peaceful. And I don't know what they were doing after. I don't know. Come on. And the media has been quiet and or spun some of it. But I'm thinking they expect us to believe that you ran around with Epstein. I don't care who you are. You could be the Pope. If you were on Epstein's plane or on his island or at his mansion, I got a magic number in my head. Once.
not good.
That's too damn many, and I have to question, what are you doing there? You know what I mean? You knew he was a piece of garbage because you're in that circle. You at least knew way before the rest of us did,
Oh, yeah.
you know, for the last 20 years. But, well, we didn't really, we were reluctant to go, but, you know, it's a Hollywood to do. It's a big bullshit. And that's,
I
anybody
agree.
that's on those planes should be just strung up. Let the families, I could go into that forever. Uh-oh, we got a phone call.
You guys want to we're going to take a phone call. Phone lines are open. 202-506-9005. If the mods can beam that number up there, we'll get a couple phone calls going here.
Someone saw Trump on the island. Let's hope it was just BS.
That's not true.
Uh,
We've looked. We haven't.
maybe before Epstein owned it, maybe it was a Trump property. Right.
And he did. No,
I don't
he
take
Oh,
Trump.
there it is. We got a call. You're on the Patriot Hour. What's going on?
Hey, Mike, it's Nat from Kentucky.
Hey, how are you doing?
How y'all been doing? I've been begging you to turn them phone lines on.
Hell yeah.
2 weeks ago, okay, I was watching William Mounts. I've told you about him before, right?
Yes.
Well, he said he had come on his show and he said that Trump had skin cancer. Okay? Well, we find out yesterday Trump for the last 2 weeks has been taking hydroxychloroquine.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
He
So-
admitted that himself, right?
Right.
He said it.
Sure did. So when Q's been saying that we've got cures for everything coming, there's no other reason why Trump would have been on that. Okay?
Ooh.
Unless that could be a future cure for it. And cure for many other things.
For what?
Cancer.
For cancer, for everything.
Well, the other reason is because
COVID?
there are
You know?
doctors that are saying that they've used that
Yes.
to cure COVID patients. So
That's a good. So okay. So write that down.
Yep.
Q did say we
It was
cures for
exactly 2
everything.
weeks
This
ago
is
when
2 years ago. We heard
Y'all can
that.
go back through William Mounts TV shows. You'll hear him say it.
William
It hasn't
Mounts.
come out anywhere else about him having skin cancer, but, you know, it just put it in my head. And then with that, yeah. And then the other part, what y'all were talking about earlier, you know, like with the D-class, okay? Well, Q dropped last night. You know, we've been in D-class. We're declassifying all these, you know, Schumer, all them. But he's not going to talk about the classified, which that will be military. And that's when Obama and Clinton will go down right there.
And Biden.
And Biden.
Oh,
yeah.
I couldn't agree further. That was awesome. Well, thank you for all your tips. We appreciate it. Call in again anytime. God bless.
All right, guys. God bless y'all, and thank you for everything.
take care.
Thank you. What an awesome call. All right, phone lines are still open. We'll take a few more. William Mount is a nutter. That's what somebody just put. Just reading. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of William Mount. Maybe I'll check it out and then I'll see his face and be, oh, okay, I've seen him before. But I don't know. But we got it written down. We'll check into it. That's the most we can do.
This is BS. President Trump was on the plane, but not the island.
There you go. All right, hey, you're on. This is a Patriot Hour. You got Scott and Mike.
Hi, Scott and Mike. This is Jim from Florida. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Hey, I have a little speculation, little thing that was stirring in my brain about hydroxychloroquine, and Trump taking it, and the military.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
ready for this? You heard of Operation Warp Speed for the vaccine for COVID?
Say that again. Warp speed or work speed?
Operation Warp Speed?
Warp speed. Okay, we got it written down. Keep going.
Operation Warp Speed is their organization to work on the vaccine, but it's led by the military. And what I'm thinking is he bought all these, all of it from India, like millions of samples of hydroxychloroquine, HCQ, but the FCC won't permit it to be used.
Because it's from.
But I've heard that it could be applied via aerosol spray. And what if they use the same technology they do for chemtrails, and they spray it over cities instead of giving it as through your mouth or a vaccine? If they spray it over cities, it goes around the FDA, goes around doctors, it goes around everything.
You're putting it up in the
and they're cured.
Wow. So it's like take the things that are, like they said, all the tools they've used to like kill us, harm us,
and apply it to helping us.
Yeah, use it to help us, then shut it down. They're using some of these acts that we don't like. Them, like some people are like, I don't like that the Patriot Act's still in effect. Well, Trump needs it to be to take these people down under that same.
Well, that's kind of true. Yeah. He has to use the same tool that they were using to be corrupt.
Well, that whole Patriot Act was to get terrorists in our country arrested without due process. Well, maybe we use that on them.
Sure.
And then you shut it down and abolish it. But it actually, things they built to take us down, we're now getting them to go down. And they're screaming, this wasn't what it was designed for. It was to get those people, not me.
Well, it's like a gun. A gun is manufactured hoping that the end user uses it to hunt or to protect themselves. But, sometimes that gun is used wrongfully. That doesn't mean the rest of us are guilty. So that's a comparison.
That's a good little, we appreciate that. You got anything else for us?
Jim?
No, that's it. I just thought of that, and because it sort of fits together. I don't have any proof, but I mean.
No, it's I got you.
Well, neither do they.
Yeah.
Neither does the left. They don't have proof on a whole lot of it.
Even if they don't use aerosol, I mean, the military in Operation Warp Speed, he said they're going to use that to distribute the vaccine as soon as they get it. So if the vaccine is hydrochloroquine in any form, they can bypass doctors and the FDA, or somehow by the military just giving it out.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Keep digging, keep thinking. That's what we encourage here, and I like it. I got it all written down. We're going to look into that, and especially I want to look into this Operation Warp Speed. So thank you for bringing all of that to our attention, and we're going to get to a few other calls here. I got Scott for a limited amount of time, and we appreciate it.
You guys have a good day. Thanks,
Jim, good talking to you, brother. Take care.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right, we got another one right away. Did I hang up on him? Are you there? Hello, you're on the... Nope. All right, we got nothing. They'll come in.
That's interesting.
Yeah. There they are. They're back. Patriot Hour. You got Mike and Scott here on the line. What's going on?
Hey, brother. It's Adam up in Washington. How you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, Adam?
Hey, I just wanted to throw a shout out and let you know that you guys are doing a fantastic job and always got your back.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. How'd you hear about us? Just came across on YouTube?
Oh, no. I've been following you guys from the beginning. I've been there all the way from Jump Street.
We appreciate it. Thanks.
Who would have thunked it?
Yeah. So, I share the Patriot Hour site and a few other sites for intel when I'm trying to wean people into the truth and red pill them without, pouring a whole gallon of gasoline on them, lighting them on fire. And so I find that giving them a little bit at a time helps out a lot. And so everything you do is amazing for them. To be able to piece by piece by piece put it together. And given some playlists to them, and they've gone back, and a lot of these people are coming to the knowledge that, okay, there's something way big going on, and so they're asking, what should I do? And so,
Well, as a group, we got to bring them from the dark into the light.
Is everybody going to be arrested? Take the time to get involved with the process of cleaning it up at your local level with the voting. You know, don't just focus on the youth stuff. I mean, this is a moment to get engaged. We were all duped, and so getting engaged is a big deal.
Correct.
And so when I do info drops with Patriot Hours, the other one that I really like to use a lot that's very well done, like you guys, is LT over at And We Now News.
Okay.
And he dropped the other day that in Africa they were sent their COVID-19 test their population, and they knew that something shady was up. And you got to remember the whole Bill Gates vaccine thing, sterilizing those women, and all the other vaccine tragedies, testing in Africa. They said, well, let's go ahead and see what's going on. And LT dropped the article, and you can see it was just amazing. They took goat's blood and pawpaw fruit juice, put it on the COVID test, and sent it back, and they both came back positive for COVID-19.
Wow.
Whoa.
And so the moment that happened, you had to throw out all the numbers and say, prove it. The data's not backing it up. The shutdowns, the garbage. When you have government officials in Italy, in Africa, I mean, Mexico's been using the hydroxychloroquine. France has been using the hydroxychloroquine. I mean, all your guys' work is red pilling in a productive way, not just a conspiratorial way. And I really wanted to say thank you and let everybody know the information is getting out there and making a difference because you guys are doing what you do. And when we hear these things that we can't find on our own because you guys are so diligent as digital warriors, we are so indebted to you, and I bless you to be fruitful and multiply in every way, every day, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you.
Man, you just gave
Amen.
me goosebumps, brother. That, what touching words, man.
Thank you, Adam. And
Adam from Washington.
Adam,
Appreciate you, brother.
Adam from Washington State. Thank you so much. We're going to take a few more phone calls before we shut this podcast down for today, but thank you so much. Call back anytime.
All right, soldier on, brothers.
Appreciate you.
What a great message there. All right, we'll go right into another one. This is oh, it sucks.
Wow.
Let me turn that down here.
Thank you, Lori.
Oops. I'm trying.
Strike three.
That's
man, that I'm gonna write Adam's name down and do my best to thank him.
Well, thank you
again. That's some powerful words right there. Some powerful information as well.
Patriot Hour, we got you. What's going on? You there?
Hello?
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, this is Valerie from Virginia.
I recognize that 757. I just
is that? Did she say Sally?
Yeah, I used to live out
Valerie.
there. Valerie.
I knew you used to live out this way, and I figured you recognize the 757.
Yes.
I've got a couple of things I wanted to bring up, and and my husband and I, we've just been, it's just curious why they're paying people to not work.
Ooh.
Stay home and not work.
I actually have that on my notepad right here that I was going to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah, they are literally paying people not to work. Now, let me tell you what else is happening here with the children. And schools are closed down, and of course, children, a lot of them were getting 1 to 2 up to 3 meals a day at the school. Now, they are still feeding the kids, and they're going to feed them through the summer now.
Oh, wow.
3 meals a day and a snack. not only that, a lot of these children, especially, these disadvantaged children, their mothers get food stamps, so they're not even having to use those to feed their kids. The schools are bringing food out to the neighborhoods to feed them 3 times a day all summer long. In addition to that, the mothers get food stamps. Now they're giving food stamps to the students. All the kids are getting food. They're called student EBT cards, SEBT cards. And they're going back retroactive to March. And they're loading up these food stamp cards for the kids that they had been feeding ever since the schools shut down, 3 meals a day.
Wow.
They announced they're feeding them through the summer. And I'm just saying, they're roping people in left and right. They're giving them everything they can not to work and to be completely dependent on the government. And the mothers still get $800 a month in food stamps.
Wow.
That they're not using any of it. The buses, I literally see the school buses coming and dropping off food to people all around. Just like instead of picking up kids, they're dropping off food, 3 meals a day and a snack. And I don't begrudge kids eating. That's not the point.
It's not their fault that the adults in
the
this.
mothers are already getting $800 a month in food stamps.
Correct.
Wow.
And now they're giving the kids EBT cards. Of course, being minors, their mothers are going to be in control of that. And I was told it was going to be about $5 to $6 a day loaded up on these cards retroactive 2 months. And some of these ladies have 4 or 5 kids under the age of 18. And they're going to be getting all of this. I mean, literally, they're paying people not to work, not to want to go back to work. How can, if you were a manager at say McDonald's or something like that, and you were trying to find people, you're opening back up inside, who's going to come there and work?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, who would you get to come there and work, and they're making more money to sit home? It's just crazy, and we're being set up.
You're damn right we're being
This
set
is a
up. This is actually
complete
probably setting
setup.
up the federal minimum wage is what I'm believing. They're going to get you used to certain monies and the dollar amounts and then say, see, it's a
That's all
lot
you
cheaper. We wouldn't have to keep giving free stuff if we just raised the rate. You're damn right. They're going to use this as a setup. They're going to say, look at what we got everybody used to living off of. And then
Right.
yank it right out from underneath them and say, see, we have to. It's a joke.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to yank it away from them.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a big setup, and I can't believe it. So when they tell you that the kids aren't getting fed or we don't want kids to go hungry, that is a lie.
It's BS.
That is quite the opposite. And their mothers still have but a lot of those food stamps, they sell that for different things. But they got the average family we see about $800 a month that they're getting in food stamps, and the kids are going to get their own food stamps, and the schools are feeding them 3 meals plus a snack a day.
And that's
But I'm gonna let
that's
y'all go.
BS.
I just wanted to jump in here and say that. So it's just, that's the stuff that never gets reported, on the news.
You're right. You're right.
But,
We're going to take a minute.
And I know this because I'm a teacher.
Okay.
And so I teach at a low-income Title I school. And that's why I know how much they get, who's getting the food, the money, and all of that. So, okay, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you, Dad.
much.
Appreciate
God bless.
you.
Thank you, Valerie, for calling in from Virginia. I would say I was reading an article, Scott, that and I'm gonna just take the phone off the hook here for a minute.
Yeah, please.
Put it this way, folks. Some states have. I'll go back from our phone call. Some states have. I was just reading an article, depending on state to state, because it varies. Some states, with your dependents, you get $600 a week in unemployment or something. They said you could be maxing out at about 11. I think they said one state was $11.80 a week in unemployment benefits with dependents. Now, our state, like Indiana, doesn't do dependents. So, and our max is like $390 or something. So other states are.
But there's a $600 add-on.
There's an add-on right now for our state and other states. But so some of these states, people are milking it upwards of $1,200 a week when they're only ever making $600 a week, maybe $700. So of course, and then I read an article yesterday that this one restaurant in, I think, Maryland was ready to open up down there by the beach, but nobody's willing to come back to work. They're telling her on the phone, like, I'm getting $900 or $1,200 a week right now, and I only make 3 or 4 with you. And she goes, I don't want to have a whole place full of unhappy workers that It could be really bad because not a lot of people come out to eat. You just don't know. We're opening back up, but people aren't willing to test the waters of opening back up. Almost.
Why should they? Why?
Now, they had this problem in the late 70s with unemployment, and that's when they came out with that thing for people to get the amount for your kids with taxes. What do they call that? The
child dependent?
Yeah, that whole... That was a guise to get people off unemployment, to get them back out in the world.
Well, and I wasn't BSing. This is one of the topics right here. This was one of my big ones that I wanted to talk to.
So go ahead and let's get into that.
People, you want me to go into one of my classic spiels, because it just irritates me. It's heartbreaking. It's dishonest. It's not free. It's going to catch somebody in the tail, probably a year or two down the road. Guys that are actually working and paying taxes. So people are making more money staying home than if they were to go back to work. Now, why would they even do this in the first place? And I think Valerie's onto something. They want this is a it's not redistribution of wealth. What it is a redistribution of the vote, because you're going to get more and more people dependent on the government. Who the hell do you think they're going to vote for come, election time? The ones that are giving the free stuff? Absolutely, you're not going to bite the hand off to feed you. But good people are out here turning jobs down because they're making good money to sit at home.
Yes.
While I'm still out busting my rear. And I know people, well, you own your own business, you're probably wealthy, and you chose this. But this is just like tax return season. Who in their right mind ever thought it was okay? This is almost like how you brainwash children. But during tax return season, I personally know, everybody watching and listening personally knows somebody that usually brags about how much they got back on their return. And at the same time, we all know that person didn't A, work at all, or B, work very much. But when you get $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12,000 back in taxes, federal taxes, I can promise you're not making $85,000 a year. You didn't pay into that. You're getting more back than what you actually paid.
Yeah, no, this is...
And that's bullshit.
This is where... I was early on with the Trump thing arguing for his point of, like, they have federal laws in for a job. Like, if your company has a loss, you can take those losses and roll them forward. And people would have advised Trump to do that. And these people that are so out of it, don't even own a business, are just like, oh, you scammed them. And it's like, no, that was a laws put in like the 80s or 70s or 60s, well before Trump. These are the politicians that put these things in. Job loss, monies, carrying it forward. But you're right, Scott. So, like, for myself, 1 year working at a government contracting place, AM General, we got bonuses and whatnot. But I paid $25,000 in federal taxes. $25,000, folks, and I got 13 grand back. So I got 13, but I was worried about that other 9 or 12 grand that wasn't. I was like, where did that go? Who's getting that? I still paid a lot more than what I got back. Where some people only pay 2 or 3 grand in federal all year and get 9 grand back because of all the kids or however it works. So I have been in that position. I was like, wow, I paid 25 grand in federal because the bonuses were hit at like 30% folks. But yeah, it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
I don't know how anybody can feel comfortable with this, and because if we continue to do this is what keeps happening in this country. Now we're several hundred years old, well, not several, but we're hundreds of years old now. And if we just turn a blind eye to it, it's going to be just like when FDR said, well, the American people are too stupid to save their own money, so we're going to implement Social Security. We can never have this devastation happen again when the stock market crashed. Well, you sons of guns crashed it on purpose to steal wealth. So that's BS. That's a government bureaucracy right there in play. And then later on, they said, well, elderly, or even not just elderly, but we have to start Medicaid and then Medicare because you're too stupid to have health insurance, and that was 2 of them. And then and then somewhere, I believe in the 40s or 50s, before the IRS was even invented, you're too stupid to file your taxes, so we're going to start another bureaucracy and keep doubling down.
And then if they know every bit of money you make because of all the tracking, then why do they even rely on for you to give us the number that you owe and then to tell you in the minute, like, so we see that you're not right by $2. They know everything.
So why they can employ 52,000
it doesn't even make sense. Well, see, and this is where we kind of might be wrong. See, we all get mad when our own money comes back to us in a form of like what is coming. And now some can argue, well, some didn't put that much in to get that much back or whatever. But it's just like the whole guise of what's going on in the first place is wrong. That's why I like to go back to 1871 when our Constitution kind of got put on the dustbin and the federal government came out with this one. And they know that they can't call it acts or laws, so everything's called acts and policies and procedures, and because it's a guise and it's put over. So maybe Trump's got an idea to get us out of that. They're already saying that Trump merged with the Federal Reserve, and at this point, our president is the head of the Fed right now again. And when we come out of this, we're only supposed to be having tariffs. I'm not dead set on having to pay taxes, and if we don't, then we're done as a country, because I don't think so. I think we were supposed to have tariffs, charge other countries these amounts of money. Somehow, the people that are part of the Federal Reserve, which is made up of international people, decided, hell no, with charging ourselves. Correct. We're going to charge you guys inward, outward. So our tax dollars are earned and then filtered to them, where it's supposed to be the other way around. So maybe we're getting some payment back. I don't know. There's been all kinds of theories that some of this is our payment. We're not going to have to pay it back. And don't argue it, because the other way of it is you just pay taxes and you don't get your money back. Never.
I've always been a big believer in just 10% flat tax.
Yeah, there should be something.
Returns. You don't need returns.
It should be the common thing was everyone's supposed to own a little land and pay a little bit of tax, and people are like, well, that's for the state because it's the state tax or whatever.
Correct.
So that was the one thing that was in there, right? Everyone should own a little, and then everyone should pay a little.
Everybody should be a king on their own.
Yes, correct. Yes. In a small, minute way, not like, oh, king, you're sounding crazy. No, we're all kings, neighbors of each other, so everyone's got to act appropriately, and you all are the king of your own little bit of land, not your neighbor's land.
Well, I'll tell you this, and you should, everybody should know this, but the federal government was never supposed to be this big.
They were only there to deal with our foreign interest. That's like all of the states funnel through the State Department, and they make sure that the deals are kosher. Because what we've been getting, like us selling out our toll road, wasn't such a well, you didn't sell it, we leased it for 87 years. Oh, that sounds guisey too. It's my lifetime. It's your whole lifetime.
Right. So by the time we're dead and gone,
the lease is up. Do they renew it? Does it get renewed? That's guisey.
It certainly is. But I'm telling you, there's I don't know who, it had to have been the House, but the damn Senate passed it, and I don't know that they really paid attention. I can promise you this, really good, solid congressmen and senators. Again, Nancy Pelosi and anybody that was subject to this can all go to hell, in my opinion. It didn't take hundreds of pages of relief act to help the people. It would have been, if I was Congress, if I was a congressman, I would have said, I make a motion that everybody that filed taxes last year, we know they exist, that person gets $1,000. And then if they had a kid, that's $500. Boom, end of story. Hell no. They were throwing on pork and bacon like they always do. Well, what about, Planned Parenthood needs another $25 million to kill babies. Well, now is not the time to talk about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what they do. That's what government does. And they just shove all this crap down our throats. We're going to be paying out the ass later for all of this garbage that Pelosi and all her little demons couldn't get past. But
there's some nasty stuff in that bill. No, I don't think it's passed yet, folks. We're just talking about.
Well, the first one passed.
Well, yeah. Right? Yeah, of course. All the Democrats in Congress.
Do not. I mean, you better call your congressman right now. As soon as you, quit watching our show and call your congressman or woman or man and tell them to make sure, or your senator, and make sure you turn this down. And here's why. Well, they knew they were going to shoot it dead down in the Senate. They called it a dead bill, and everybody that's not a Democrat or that's not a Republican instantly on the news, well, McConnell, blah, 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 Republicans don't want to help the people. No. If it hurts, it's probably good for you, number one. You don't need freebies to stay alive. Get off your butt and go do something. But the reason they said they're turning it down and it's not going to pass the Senate floor is because of all of the garbage attached to it that has absolutely nothing to do with immediate relief to the American people. If I see one more dollar of my tax money go to Planned Parenthood to kill babies, then I never want to hear anybody else complain to me that people are dying because of COVID. You dumb SOBs are using taxpayer money, and American citizens are supporting this. You're using taxpayer money to kill more babies than COVID ever will. Just since the COVID had started, the last 60 days. Projected number, 72,000 abortions in this country. But we're worried about 60 or 70,000 mainly elderly people that have died from COVID. I know it sucks. It's a flu. But don't put this stuff in front of me or my family every day about how COVID is so bad. More people died in car accidents because of DUIs. You're not banning alcohol.
Or
more
weed
people are
shops.
Weed shops are, but you're killing babies with taxpayer money. I voted no against it, but you still took my money and did it because you have a loophole. And then you put it in front of my face and tell me, COVID's a nasty situation. We need you to stay at home. It's corrupt. It's wrong. It's immoral. And I'm sorry, just use abortion to win your debates and your arguments, and tell your senators you gotta vote this crap down.
Oh yeah.
It's not immediate relief, because if it was, it would take one page and they all would vote yay. There's a reason why it's being turned down. Don't fall in love with what the news is telling you.
Oh no.
The Republicans and McConnell, they're jerks. They don't want to help the people. By not giving you free stuff is helping you, because it's going to motivate you to get off your butt. They're just taking back the people that Trump put back to work, basically. It's a power shift, man. He just put all these people back to work and took away food stamps and made it harder for people to get freebies. And what the damn Democrats and Pelosi do? Turn right back around and just found a loophole. And well, gee, it is sad. It is sick. And if you're an American, I don't care.
Stand up to it.
I don't care if you're red or blue. You absolutely must stand up to it.
Check in. Let's know where you're from. We're at that time. It's 55 minutes in, 56 minutes in. We'll do this. Let us show Scott where you guys are checking in from. We got about 700 people in the room right now.
Revolution is right.
It's going to start coming here. Scott starts screaming them out.
Right
Ohio.
On. Ohio, baby. Love you. Love you, Ohio.
Amanda Lane.
Debbie from Virginia. Kentucky. Thumper Rose. Washington.
Alabama. Ohio. Kentucky. Vegas.
Carolina. North Dakota. I'm going that way in October. Bristol, Indiana. Whoa, slow down. Crazy times. Texarkana.
North Dakota.
Tennessee. Pennsylvania. Oregon.
Texas. Rhode Island. West Virginia. Spain, Georgia,
Louisiana. Oh my God.
Florida, Ohio, Scotland, coming in from over the pond.
Right on.
Ohio, Chicago, Australia,
Providence,
Spain,
Oklahoma,
Michigan, Knoxville, Vegas, Tennessee.
I haven't seen Hawaii yet. Do they even let you watch us?
Taxachusetts, baby.
Taxachusetts.
Where's Texas? Ohio.
Okay, we're not here to support the Buckeyes. I'll say I love you, but don't put the Buckeyes on there.
Michigan City, Idaho.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Clinton, Illinois.
Ontario. Hey.
Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
California.
California. All right.
Hamburger Hill.
So you're saying there's a chance we're reaching people in California.
Titanic, EU. Taxa, Jersey.
Belfast. Darren. Well, he's a mod.
Monument, Colorado. Indianapolis, Massachusetts.
Mars. We have somebody from Mars. All right.
Checking in from the International Space Station.
Crazy.
Buckeyes really suck, Scott. Man. Ohio.
I don't like using the word hate, but I root against the Buckeyes in all things they do.
Gettysburg in spirit.
I always say it's a great day when Notre Dame wins and whoever's playing in Ohio State.
MISSISSIPPI. Swamp and Anya.
Louisiana.
Swamp Anya.
Oh, man.
International Space.
It's good to be back. Hello from Germany.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pluto. Victoria, Texas. Go Green. Arkansas. Don't get Arkansas-sided. Arizona. Salton, Washington.
Patriot Sippy.
Patriot Sips.
No handout, jobs and welfare.
Fort Lottie. Michigan State. All right, we're rooting down. No need to have a good barbecue.
Yes, we do. Go Huskers.
Yes. All right.
Oh, man.
Thank you guys for checking in today. Clarksville, Tennessee. I see Molly C. Clarksville, Oklahoma. A lot of you Patriots are in the same neck of the woods. You should get together.
Uh-huh. Patriot picnics.
Mm-hmm.
And when they tell you to stand 6 feet apart, start hugging each other.
You start, flipping burgers.
It's all crap. And that was one of the other things I really wanted to touch base. I don't know how much time you want to keep. I don't care. I could be here forever. I just missed it. But big business is able to be open, but small business is not able to be open. That just blows my mind as a contractor. I go into Lowe's all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of people go in that store every day.
Yeah.
But the guy down the road, or the lady down the road running a salon can't have 3 people in her store to, be able to stay afloat and feed her family and pay her bills. No, but big corporations can stay open.
Doesn't make no sense.
Redistribution of wealth and power and control, and we cannot allow it.
It make no sense.
No, makey. That damn lady, that poor lady, I wished I would have wrote her name down, and I wish as Patriots we could reach out to her. Maybe we still can. She stood in front of that judge and said, I am not closing, and he ended up throwing her in jail. Now, he released her with pressure, but she got fined, and her point was, you're not taking care of me. I'm taking care of myself and my employees and their kids by paying them, and people, we have people that want their hair done. But how in the hell, and who makes these stupid rules? She couldn't be open as a hairdresser. But a block or two down the road, and I have tattoos, I'm not against tattoos, but the tattoo parlor could be open, and just like here in Michigan, this nutty governor, and I don't care if she's listening or the government's listening to me, y'all in Michigan need to vote that dumb broad out.
Oh, yeah. She's ex-CIA, man.
You can't go fishing in a boat because it has a motor on it.
But you can go without the motor. You can't go...
you can't buy seeds.
But you can, marijuana shops are open, but churches aren't. It's like, real. None of it makes sense. It just seems... and then she wanted to shut down the Capitol. That's the people's building.
Yeah.
Shut down the Capitol.
Yeah. You forgot you work for...
Quit coming here and stuff. It's like, it's our house. This is the people's house.
I love what you just said. Churches.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you having morals right now. They don't want you having something to lean on. They don't want you near people. Why? They don't want you talking. They don't want you feeling strength in numbers, and they want you feeling controlled and scared and needy.
This was supposed to be, some of these states were wanting to shut down until after the election. The only way we're going to come out of it is if we got Biden in.
You're right.
She's going for vice president. Biden mentioned her as one of his picks.
Oh, he needs Michigan.
Yeah. He wants her as a vice president.
Well, if he picks, you know what? He's already so beatable. But if he picks, Michigan's going to go red if she gets nominated for vice presidency. But you couldn't buy an American flag. You couldn't buy seeds. Why can't you buy seeds? Well, they don't want you growing tomatoes and cucumbers. They want you to depend.
They want a food shortage.
Yeah.
Because you can't grow nothing, and then you have to come to the store to buy it, and then eventually, like, well, we're out of stuff. Oh my gosh. It's just a big joke.
Somebody really has to tell me what the point is.
To get Trump out, man. This is how far they're willing to go.
Isn't it strange that he beat them up? Finally, a president of the United States in the last 50 years stood against China and the trade deals and blah, blah, blah.
Well, we're supposed to be finding out under Hillary right now that, first off, none of this stuff would be coming out. None of the D-class. We would know nothing of the rigging. If they would have actually beat Trump and rigged it and won, we'd never know. It just would seem normal. Other than that
in itself should be a big light bulb.
And then right now we're supposed to be finding out under her 2-3 years in. We'd probably be in really bad positions where there'd been riotings, lots of more false flags of guns in schools, kids dead, bad things happened, and to a point where they just need all your guns. We'd probably be gunless right now in the country. They're supposed to be finding out Russia duped us and bought a bunch of our uranium. That was, even though she allowed it, that was supposed to be found out under her administration to kind of be like, we got to go to war with Russia because they lied and got some of our uranium. And
that I sold to them.
Yeah. But they lied to us and we didn't know. How could we have? Well, we had that whistleblower that told us all about it.
Well, what do you believe for 1 second that if she was in office that a Chinese virus that can devastate our economy would have even happened?
Not if they had us to where they already wanted us by other means. Correct. I think this was Plan Z or something.
Well, no, it just happened.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, we ran out of things to try to screw Trump, or we have to bring his economy down. Well, I know, let's put everybody out of work. Well, how do we do that? Make them sick. Tell them they can't go to work because you're going to scare them.
You know, and the deep state's out of money with a lot of the facets being down. So I think on this one, like, if you could imagine, like, the 12 shakers of the world, the real powerful guy.
The table of 10.
Yeah, they're all sitting there. The other guy's maybe off smoking a cigar, drinking some 1800 wine or, whiskey or something. And, they're like, man, we've already tried that. They're arguing amongst each other. And the one guy's like, what we need is something that, is invisible. Like, we're out of money. And he's like, no, it's a virus. And he just starts spouting off this story of what's going on now. And they're all like, we're listening. We like it. Tell us more. And he goes through his whole story of this. It doesn't cost us anything. Well, how do we get everyone to believe it? Through the media. And they just, because of all the stuff that's been out on this, Scott, I find it hard to believe. I find it real hard to believe. I actually got this little clip I'm going to look for here, and I'll show it to you. But it's from a show from 2003 called the Dead Zone. I don't know if you remember that show when it was out.
Doesn't ring a bell.
But
I'm really not much of a TV watcher.
I never saw this either. I just saw it floating around. So I'm actually, man, did I ever even record that? I don't think I did. So I'm going to go to my channel. But anyway, what would you think if I show you something here and it's pretty well lined up to
what's going on?
Everything going on, yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. You're pretty good at doing that.
It's nuts, dude. Your channel. So I'll go here, see if this is still on. I think it got banned, but I think it's still there.
Of course it did. If it's anything relevant to the truth, then we can't show that. I'm surprised we're even allowed to talk anymore, to tell you the truth.
True.
It sucks that they've taken us. Again, we didn't do this for the money, but it does cost money, and there's a lot more things we can do if we have some money. But other YouTubers that I follow, they've taken the money away, thinking, well, if we take the money away, maybe they'll shut up and go away. Well, they forgot one thing. We started this not based on money, so the money was just a blessing that allowed us to buy better equipment and maybe do some traveling and go to some of these events. Now they've taken the money away, so we're gonna have to find different ways to help fund it. But
found it. You're gonna love this one. All right, so I'll bring this right in. We're just gonna listen along here for a couple minutes. We'll come back, finish this up. Paste. Is that web browser? You'll like this one. All right.
I'm gonna watch it later because when you put this on, I'm gonna go out and have a cigarette real quick.
All right, I'll get it on.
Because my wife will watch this with me tonight, unless she's already watching. Usually she gets the bell. We got to get to 200,000, man. We got to get over that hump. We've been flirting with high 100 and somethings, but we're not far off. Get this word out.
All right, this will be up in a second here. Let me mute us.
What's going on? Just let me think about where to start.
Well, he saw something. What is it?
I saw a virus. I think some kind of disease.
A virus? Like what? Like SARS?
I don't know. All I know is that it's highly infectious and it may be fatal. Right now, we could all be infected. If we take this outside, we risk the whole town.
Johnny, how big is this gonna get?
I don't know. We just have to do everything we can to stop this, starting right now, Walt.
He's right. All right, here's what's gonna happen. We need to make sure that everybody that's inside stays inside. I'm gonna get a few deputies on it. We'll call it a lockdown.
Lockdown?
Well, until I come up with something better.
Walt, no. No, you cannot lock the school doors.
This is for your family's safety.
Will I get sick too?
Maybe we should wear masks.
What difference does it make? According to you, we've already been exposed. Let's get one thing straight, Mr. Smith. I'm responding to political pressure. You have no reason to be scared. Let me ask you something, Amy. Animals. You've been around any animals in the backyard, even, let's say, a skunk, a raccoon? I'm going to swab the inside of your mouth with this little Q-tip, trying to get a handle on this animal. Damn efficient airborne transmission. Blood tests and swabs aren't telling us much. We know it acts like a virus. It causes high fever and respiratory distress. Tracking and treating a mysterious outbreak like this would take the CDC months.
We better get started then. For anyone who hasn't been exposed already needs to wear a mask.
China. Isn't that where flu viruses come from?
Yeah. A lot of viruses come from there.
International flight to China?
That's no coincidence. Whatever it is, it originated in China.
Time is not on our side.
It's like looking for a needle in a needle stack.
We have ruled out all the usual suspects: influenza, SARS, bacterial pneumonia.
How long is it going to take?
Well, it took 34 days to isolate the coronavirus that caused SARS, and that's fast.
I'm authorizing a quarantine on everyone who's come in contact with a symptomatic person.
There's got to be something I can do.
On the enzyme, this virus when they reduce
So the chloroquine did
malaria.
So the chloroquine.
The chloroquine.
This is it. This is your virus.
I'm sorry, but there's no cure for that. Chloroquine, that's an anti-malarial drug.
No. Listen, it suppresses the enzymes.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right, we got the panel.
Good morning, brothers.
How is it going?
Good morning, world. Good morning. Good morning, world. Airborne all the way.
Propaganda much on Friday there? Some pre-programming?
Happy day.
Some pre-programming, and then you got your post-programming.
Now, I believe that episode came out 17 years ago. Interesting.
Like 03 or 05 or something around there?
2003. That was a Hollywood production. There's a little bit more to that. At the very end, he recovers, and it was all because of hydrochloroquine. And
yeah.
So it's just interesting that this isn't nothing new under the sun. What has been done will be done again.
And again.
So,
just like Jerry Nadler soiling himself daily because of the
his alleged colostomy bag taken care of.
Do they make diapers that big?
You guys are horrible.
Yeah. They're all upset. Shifty.
So isn't that interesting?
Neck.
I mean, you know, coming in hot, what a great little thing to think about, you guys. I mean, 17 years ago, they're coming out with this SARS and the Corona and Lyme and all this kind of good stuff. And they're telling you this and that, and that they wear masks. And You know, it's when you can see the programming, and I think today's what we were talking, Mike and I in Garage talk about. We talk about programming. What does that mean? You know, we all say you view a television, you change channels that has programming on there, and of course we say this like, oh, you're weird, but there is actually a method to their chaos madness. Mike and I talk about, you know, on the team here, talk about pre-programming and post-programming. This is how they solidify this narrative inside your subconscious, and they've been doing this for thousands of years. So an episode that aired 17 years ago that talks about exactly what's happening today and the playbook, just interesting. With connections,
Just coincidence,
some
right?
dots, you know.
And they've done this stuff, you know, for other things, right? All right, I'm back. Scott's coming back up.
Oh.
You guys are still here. Awesome.
Oh my. That is. So, I just watched that clip. In 2003.
2003.
That was a episode, and they called it the coronavirus. And
all the hot buzzwords, right?
All the buzzwords, and then the big chlor blah, blah, blah. I cannot pronounce that word. What's the one that Trump's taken?
Chloroquine.
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 Yeah. It's on the. It's in that video as well. We treat, you know, malaria for the. So this is intentionally done. This doesn't just happen. It's almost like, and we'll go back to books and movies, right, for about 30 seconds. 2,000 Leagues Under the Seas by Jules Verne.
Yes.
He wrote of walking on the bottom of the ocean with breathing apparatus, right, before it was ever invented. And then eventually they invent the shit. Sorry, pardon my language. I'm all amped up now. And it's because somebody created it in their brain and put it in a book or in a movie. Well, what that gets people, engineers like me, or, you know, thinkers, like, hey, we could do something like that. So they create it. And then, you know, way back when Star Trek and Mars Attacks and stuff, they talked about spaceships and blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden they created spaceships, and they, you know, so it's, if creative people can make movies and books and think of stories, then it won't take very long for engineers to say, well, that'd be really cool. Let's do that. Just like Schwarzenegger on Mars. What was the name of that movie?
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
I can't remember the name of that show. What did I tell you that was called? The Deep what? Deep, not Deep Zone.
The one you just showed me?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, it should be on that clip that you just played.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find the real one because there's a little bit more to it, and I was going to send it to you, and they're asking too.
Going. Are these the messages up here?
Yeah, there's the messages, and I got them over here.
Okay.
Oh, let me bring them back over to my screen.
So don't make long comments, but if you guys can like chime in here for those.
What's the name of that show?
Yeah.
Anybody?
What's the name of the show that we're talking about?
That I just showed. Somebody's got to know that. The Dead Zone. There it is.
The Dead Zone. So on your comments right here, please chime in. If you haven't seen that and you're like me and you just seen that for the first time, did your jaw hit the floor? What are you thinking?
All right, hold on. I'm going to grab it right here, you guys. We're not going to watch it all again. I'm going to put me and Scott over it. We're going to be pausing it. We're going to break it down because I think we need to. It's kind of crazy. And that's from 03, web browser.
Some idiot looked at this episode and went, this is exactly what we can do to the people.
It's like the drunk Illuminati guy.
You've been missed, Scott. Thank you.
What's going on?
I'm going to bring us over these. Hold on.
Let me think about where to start.
Well, he saw something. What is it?
I saw a virus.
A virus?
I think. Some kind of disease.
A virus? Like what? Like SARS?
I don't know. All I know is that it's highly infectious. It may be fatal. Right now, we could all be infected. If we take this outside, we risk the whole town.
Johnny, how big is this gonna get?
I don't know. We just have to do everything we can to stop this, starting right now, Walt.
He's right.
We'll call it a
All right, here's what's going to happen. We need to make sure that everybody that's inside stays inside. I'm going to get a few deputies on it. We'll call it a lockdown.
Lockdown?
Well, until I come up with something better.
Walt, no. No, you cannot lock the school doors with...
This is for your family's safety.
See what they say there? This is for your family, you know, and it just
pull on them hearts.
Yeah.
My dad, dad.
If you don't want to catch it, don't leave your house. Don't worry, we'll take care of you.
Maybe we should wear masks.
Maybe we should wear masks. What in
What
the
difference does
actual?
it make? According to you, we've already been exposed.
Yeah.
Let's get one thing straight, Mr. Smith. I'm responding to political pressure. Look, you have no reason to be scared. Let me ask you something, Amy. Animals. You've been around any animals in the backyard, even
Any
let's
bats?
say a skunk, a raccoon?
Democrats, I've been
I'm
around
gonna
them.
swab the inside of your mouth.
Democratic
This
rat.
little Q-tip. Trying to get a handle
Here
on
we
this
go.
animal.
Look at the breakdown on the screen. I'm going to pause it.
Damn efficient airborne transmission.
Damn efficient airborne.
Blood tests and swabs aren't telling us much. We know it acts like a virus. It causes high fever.
That's the two things right there we get. We had the high fever come on, and then you'd get the respiratory distress. And then they put
And
on
putting
the,
a mask on just suffocates you even more.
Going to the doctors where they put you in them ventilation rooms would kill you over a 2-day period. That's
Kill
what
you,
was
yes.
happening.
That's right.
And respiratory distress. Tracking and treating a mysterious outbreak like this would take the CDC months.
We better get started then. For anyone who hasn't been exposed already needs to wear a mask.
They're like,
China. Isn't that where flu viruses come from?
Yeah. A lot of viruses come from there.
International flight to China?
That's no coincidence.
International flight.
Whatever it is, it originated in China.
Time is not on our side.
It's like looking for a needle in a needle stack.
We have ruled out all the usual suspects: influenza, SARS, bacterial pneumonia.
How long is that going to take?
Well, it took 34 days to isolate the coronavirus that caused SARS, and that's fast.
I'm authorizing a quarantine on everyone who's come in contact with a symptomatic person.
There's got to be something I can do.
On the enzyme, this virus leads when they were
So the
using
chloroquine.
to treat malaria.
So the chloroquine.
The chloroquine.
This is it. This is your virus.
I'm sorry, but there's no cure for that.
Chloroquine.
Chloroquine, that's an anti-malarial drug.
No. Listen, it suppresses the enzymes.
Welcome back, you damn fool. What happened?
We started everyone on chloroquine, stopped the thing dead in its tracks. Now, the CDC would have figured it out eventually, but not in time.
Wow. Wow.
The little emoji with the top of your head going poof, blowing off. Now, tell me again, anybody, that this was an accident? And it was part of an agenda to get more major bills and acts passed and more control. I'm sorry, 9/11 is crap, and it needed to happen in order for the people to give up some of their rights, because the government said, well, if you allow us to do this, this will never happen again. I'll say this one more time. I don't know if I'll ever repeat it. If you trust your government, you are a part of the problem. There is a reason why absolute, what am I thinking? The one term, absolute power is absolute corruption.
Corrupts power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Again, they're using tax dollars to kill people, to kill babies. They're not wanting term limits for a reason, because it's about power and control, to where the Constitution was written in such.
See, it's preemptive programming. And I just did this one the other day. Scott brings up 9/11. I can't help it, so I already popped this one up. We'll watch about 30 seconds of this, but watch this one. I'm going to blow Scott's mind again, even though he knows this, but maybe.
Farewell, there's no blood, there's no alibi, 'cause I've drawn regret from the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. erase myself to cross out what I become.
Look at the letter at the end.
Erase myself.
Ready? Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the
He's
fast
looking
way.
at a
Get
clock.
ready?
Look at his face.
Yes. Sound it out. Get
Look at
ready.
the words kite.
Sound it out. Get ready. What word? Hit. Yes,
Hit.
hit. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making mistakes. Get ready. Yes, hike. Get ready.
Hike, hit,
Yes,
steal. Put it in different order. The plane must hit the steel.
Mission accomplished.
True revolution of values will lay hand on the world order and say of war. This way of settling differences is not just. This business of burning human beings with napalm, filling our nation's homes with offerings and widows, of injecting poisonous drugs of hate into the veins of people's non-human, sending them home with dark and brilliant battlefields.
Innocent people disintegrated. All these people trapped, going through hell.
How does a aluminum plane do that?
Speed.
Will not be reconciled.
Fell on its own. Didn't go to the left or to the right. Perfect collapse.
You guys are cute.
Most powerful military and country on the planet, and we couldn't see this coming. Who benefited from all of this? All of the money. Always look to see who gained in a situation, and there lies the real players.
Can't take much more of that. It makes me really upset.
Oh, I get pissed. There were to hear. I mean, I'm one of them that I get glued to the TV when the 9/11 stuff comes up, and then you hear the phone calls of people. We're too young to die. We're young fathers, and you see people jumping out of the sacrifice that civilians went through and put for what? so a few could have more power. And we sit around here today with the COVID and are scared to stand up. You know, most good people, Dad was the same way. Don't break the laws, you know, just, you can't control it, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we can. Yes, we certainly can. We saved humanitarian rights and lives during the Civil War because good men
and sometimes
stood up and had enough.
The history books, sometimes it all comes down to like one man that did a really huge thing. It takes like one person sometimes to
give me a sword.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna run with that. It's like you know, a lot of people are like, is the Q thing real? I don't think it's real. I think it's woke up so many people worldwide at least. You know, we've been more right than wrong. We've been following these stories, the D class. Something's unraveling. Something's coming. Something huge. I believe Biden will be in jail. Believe Obama as well, if not completely eradicated because of their crimes. I mean, military tribunals, the full thing.
You know,
Lori M., here's your shout out.
The other day I was talking to a friend and he asked, what if this is a test, a setup? You know, how will the people react? Will they come out? Will they're malicious? You know what I mean? If this is a test and we're doing nothing. I mean, there's few pockets of people that are standing up for their rights, and up in Michigan they've had it, but nobody's really pushed back. And because so many think, well, there's nothing we can do. Well, there's power in numbers.
Oh, yeah.
The law may not be with you because you didn't write the law, but God is with you. Patriots are with you. Sooner or later, somebody's going to have to stand up and push back. Now, that could be done just at the poll booth.
That's what we're thinking. Like, that's huge. Unless it's rigged or you got to vote from home now, Scott. And all of a sudden, the country turns blue.
Well, you see what Pelosi and Schumer are pushing for. Don't come to the polls. Why not? They don't want you there. They don't know how else to beat this man. They're willing to sell their souls and this country down a dark hole to cover up their crap. It has nothing to do with Trump. It never did. It was because, like you've always said, Hillary lost. And now all this stuff is coming to the forefront, which never would have. It could have been Elmo running against Hillary, and if he won, then they'd be bashing Elmo and trying to get him out. They did it to themselves, and now all this stuff is out there, and they don't know what to do other than they're just compounding a problem. Instead of just admitting what they did, you know, when you were a kid and you lied, and your parents spanked you until you quit lying. If you lie to me again, I'm going to spank you again, and they lied. You kept lying. My kids do it. They lie. At some point, they break, and they finally, okay, I really did do it. See, I'm done spanking you. But these idiots, they won't. All they got to do is get on TV somewhere and say, you know what? Yes, Hillary's emails. All of this is true. Can we move on? Well, yes, but you're going to take a punishment. Instead of doing that, they're just going to keep lying and BSing because they have the means. The media, Hollywood. We just need more people to just be patriotic. Think about your families and your well-being. If you think, you know, JFK said it himself, or Reagan did, there's nothing, not too many things that the government can do better than you when it comes to taking care of yourself and your family. Don't so quickly give up your rights so the government can take care of you. That's not nature. That's not normal. You go back to the Bible, go out and, you know, just look at nature. No animal survives that is needing to be taken care of. Babies survive because mommy's always there to take care of them. Sometimes they still fall out of a tree, or sometimes they're the last one in the row and the fish comes up and gets that duck. Nowhere in nature is it like in the human race.
Yeah.
I don't need the government, nor do I want them.
Well, Well said.
I just think we're sheep. I think so many are sheep, and because so many are stupid and ignorant, they're selling my rights too. And so at what point do we get I'm tired of ignorant people so willing to sit at home and get freebies that they encourage this, and we're just continue. Somebody has to stand up, and I'm sorry if I have family and friends out there that are part of the takers. You know who you are. If you are, I don't have to, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't even know that you're a taker, but you know yourself. I would ask you to quit doing it. You're not helping yourself. You surely are not helping your children or your neighbor or your mother or your father by being a taker. It's not intended to be that way. It was never intended to be this way.
And we always thought it'd come in different ways, but it's like they forced it, you know? It's like jobs are shut down. Nobody had a choice. Like, well, I want to go to work. It's like, no, you can't. And here's some money now. So, yeah. And now some are sucked onto that. Others are still fighting against it. They would much rather. Some have never quit working. They're not getting any of this stuff. So they're looking at the others. And it's always that pinning, you know. Well, the like Q says, the main anger's got to be at these orchestrators. Everything we're actually mad about doesn't even have to exist, Scott. I don't know if God, you know, created the world for people to be paying taxes and make sure they pay their fair share, and that's the bottom line of everything.
Well, the Bible says, "Pay unto Caesar what is Caesar." There is, you know, I believe in the Constitution. You know,
Yes.
I'm a constitutionalist, in its simplest form, in the form in which it was written. Them guys would come and twice a year before planting season and after harvest. They'd meet twice a year and they'd manage the country or manage the things that the laws that were in place were maybe 50.
Yes.
You know, their budget was small. And it has just continued to balloon, and now these bastards
These
are there.
foreign countries, when I was at AM General, Tunisia, I think we've heard of Tunisia came in, they sent their military to buy a couple hundred Humvees, and they wanted to inspect every one. They're like, this is a lot of our country's money. If we come back with bad Humvees, we'll probably get executed. But he said that there was 70% of their money, like what they earned, that the government was taking 70, you got 30. And it's like, man, did that start? No, it's just like ours. We never started it. I think we're at 40 now.
Piece by piece.
Yeah.
You just keep
year by
taking a little
year.
bit.
You hear these people on TV. It's like, we just need a little bit more taxes. I was talking about Trump during this. We just need a little bit more of your money, a little bit more of your time. Vote us in one more time. Like that. That's Biden.
Trust
That's
me.
Pelosi.
Obama
Schumer.
saying he's the greatest vice president of all time. Oh, is he?
The greatest trickery going on right now is everyone thinks it's all Trump's fault, and he's been around for 30 years. But yet he's not a career politician. He hasn't been here to write these laws. He's here bitching. People are like, yeah, he's an issue. Get him out of there. We got to get back to Pelosi's and Schumer's in charge.
Yeah, we have to get back to getting screwed on a yearly basis.
It's never going to end, folks. I don't know what the correct way is. I know it's not creeping up on more and more and more of our monies being taken to. I can't imagine what has to happen here. But it's very scary, and it's not. I don't know. I don't know what.
A sovereign country must bleed within every 50 years or every generation or two just to appreciate its sovereignty, its freedoms. It's been a long time.
Man, when we started getting into this, and myself 20 some years ago, about like looking into that, I knew there was a system of powerful people, but man, their propaganda out in the media and then to us, it keeps us at bay with each other, where it's like, here we possibly have a guy, Trump, who's not part of this, comes in, and these same people before Trump was even thought of as being a president, they might have agreed with you, this New World Order, this Illuminati thing, and it's bad, and there's no way out of it, so I'm going to keep playing. But you got Trump in, and he's possibly knocking it down, and people, it's almost like you're a slave already, we've been one, and you got somebody coming into the jail cell, unlocking it, and you're like, no, and you're slapping their hand away, like, I want to stay locked up, and I like it. And it's like, man, you're almost getting freed, and you're fighting it the whole way.
You're institutionalized. You're brainwashed.
Yes. And until it's like maybe done, and the next thing you know, like we wake up, is like you're slapping your neighbor, like, look, dude, you're not paying these crazy taxes anymore. You got a flat 10%. It's really little amount. You get a lot of your money now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, well, I don't like the way that he got us back to not having to pay taxes. He could have done it in a lot nicer manner.
Yeah.
spoke a little bit more eloquently.
Did you see Trump walk on water? There's no way he's Jesus. You know, I love that one. I don't remember what meme that was. The man could walk on water. And they'd say, well, that's because he can't swim.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a shame that he doesn't sink like the rest of us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought that the biggest fight would be against common man. And that's where the biggest fight lies. It's with
and I think that's why so many people, I was way impressed with your video the other night. All around the world, people are looking at our country as the beacon. I know there's some people who, well, there's lots of free countries and there's lots of sovereign countries. Those free countries wouldn't last 48 hours if this country dissolved. Because the Chinese and the Russians and then you got your rogue people. We are the light. We are the beacon. I don't believe there's enough people in power that appreciate that anymore. I think they're just maybe arrogant and cocky, but you know, we are the breadbasket of the world. If we fall,
people run here because we're free. Well, there's nowhere else to run, right?
Correct. So we have a responsibility not only to ourselves but to the rest of the world. Those people that are free around the world know, and they cheer for us. They might not cheer for us in the Olympics, but they need. That's why so many people were heartfelt when 9/11 happened. You know, they understand. Good, smart, intelligent people understand. It's not, oh, those Americans are the best in the world. No, it's the principle of America that keeps the wolf away. You know what I mean? I think we have too many wolves that are taking us the opposite direction.
I agree.
I don't know. Maybe we need a war.
It's complacency, folks, and that's all. You learn the truth, you're going to feel a certain way about it. Once you learn the truth, you can't really undo it.
Right.
So that's the bottom line.
The longer they keep us confused and, like you said, bickering amongst one another, we're really not keeping our eye on the ball.
Yeah.
And it's easy to, it is easy. Gosh, if they just put us on national media, we would have 3/4 of the population being Patriot ready again.
Yes.
Because we would pound it in their head. Like, you know what I mean?
That's all we're trying to do here. It's the same idea, but it's not a malicious one if you're teaching the actual facts.
Correct. You're not entitled to your own.
Yeah, everyone's
facts.
entitled to their own opinion, but not their own fact.
Mm-hmm.
And if if you're going to pound something into somebody's head, it should be truth and the things that your country was, thought to be about. You can't go wrong with that. It's like, no, we don't like that. We want to promote Satanism and pedophilia. Like, no, we're going to fight that. I guess if you put it that way, the big thing was we should band around freedom and liberty. And if you do that, you can't go wrong. It's like, well, that gives the other people the right to promote their. Well, there is no law against Satanism. Now, if they want to take it to their level of what the book says and start offing people and sacrificing, yeah, I have a problem with that. And I have a right to stand up against that. We'll always have to fight the evil. That's why we decided to do the Patriot Hour. It's like, when our job's done, Q was right. A lot of things happen. We get some freedom back. Trump takes some things down. We kind of start looking together to how to move forward. Well, we're always going to have to be here to be the new guard.
Amen.
Because evil is going to creep back in. That idea is always...
I see Pelosi and Schumer and them clowns trying to have best of both worlds and try to come up with something that will shut people like us up.
Oh, yeah.
Let them have their little victory, give the people, free monies, give them this, give them that. Let them think that, okay, we're, and the whole time, no, it's a setup. It's a ploy. This is no different than raising children. If you were parented well as a child and you now are a parent, you understand what I'm saying. There are times we have to trick our kids, right? And then the punishment thing, like I was saying, the politicians don't realize that most of us are smart enough to understand that they're screwing us. What they're betting on is we never have the guts to do anything about it. They know we're not completely stupid. They just want to keep us dumb enough or encourage the fact that it's almost like they're going nanner, nanner, boo-boo. There's nothing you can do. They might as well just stand on stage and say, well, you're getting screwed, sure. What are you going to do about it? You're gonna have a revolution? I mean, they're almost tempting us.
Look at that nanner. Nanner. They can't hear that. I just saw a new Q post. So, yeah, I guess we're at 2 hours. I guess we could shut this one down.
Yeah.
I got a 1 minute video here we'll close out on with Sean Hannity. And it is to do with that whole, what happened in the U.S. president in 2016 and throughout the first 2 years of his election was apparent. It was a grave injustice, and it was unprecedented in American history. We saw two different standards of justice emerge. We looked at the current president for like 5 different investigations for 3 years. Did you hear that they just came out and said they've still been investigating him for another impeachment, Pelosi and them?
Yeah, I did hear that.
It's like, we never gave up. It was like they were doing it secret. And they said they were going to.
They have 27 different things, I think. Like, oh, that one didn't work. I got another one. That's like an endless quiver full of arrows. You know what I mean? They don't even care if it's justified or even looks good or sounds good anymore. They're just throwing crap at the wall and hope something sticks. And they look pathetic, but their base is so behind them because why? Instead of like what you just said, their base, people that hate Trump, can't tell you why they hate him.
He's racist. Well, give me the one reason why. I don't know why. I just know that he is. I've asked like actual.
He should have shut the airplanes down coming from China. He did.
He tried to.
And
Pelosi
you guys
didn't
called
want
him a
to.
racist.
Mm-hmm. And Pelosi didn't want him to either. Pelosi
Well, he
was
didn't
like,
act fast enough. It's like, oh my God, if he overreacted too early, and a bunch of lives were saved that never were going to die anyway. And somebody said, Trump probably saved 25,000, 50,000 lives. Bullshit, didn't happen. Well, no, it couldn't have happened. You know what I mean? They're always going to be pessimists. The man cannot do anything right.
We've said it early on. I'm going to feed the world. We got people here starving. I'm going to start here with the hunger in America. Then people are going to die around the world. He's only worried about people here. I'm going to do it all at once. Well, that's stupid because there's water on Mars. They don't. It doesn't. Nothing adds up. He can't do right. It's been the narrative. We have to make him look bad, folks. We witnessed it. This was crazy. I don't know.
I'm going to just start preaching, find out who your neighbors are, find out who they voted for, and I'm not saying they have to be Trump supporters. There's a lot of people that voted for him that don't always agree with him, but they understand this. Basically what I'm saying is go smack your neighbor. Maybe we can beat the stupidity out of them. One block at a time, man.
Well, we hope we get Scott back here more often. I don't know when your next trip can be. You could always beam in if it works out. I know you are busy, but when you have those mornings that you can beam in, let me know.
Yeah,
it worked out great. Yeah, that was the best beam in ever when you were in Texas. I don't know if the internet was great at the Alamo, if they got a really beefed up signal over there, but man.
It was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I really enjoyed it. Wow, 50,000 likes on this video.
And I'll cut my hair.
Oh.
Let's do it. That's what they put. 50,000 likes on this video, and I will cut my hair.
Me too.
I've never had.
Oh, wait a minute. I couldn't even go to a barber, so I did cut my
as
hair.
Well.
Oh, my wife loves it when I do that.
That's awesome. All right, we'll shut this one down. Scott in studio. We just did a 2-hour live stream for you guys. Took phone calls. We looked at comments. Loved it. Learned a lot. Delved into a lot. Hope you guys did as well. Never take our word. Always dig into it. Come up with your own conclusions based off all of the facts. Remember that. Facts over truth, all right?
That guy is such an idiot.
Facts over truth.
Oh,
what an idiot. Yeah, if Trump would have been doing that during his build-up in 2016, man, oh man, would they have tore him apart.
Doesn't even know what state he's in. He's falling asleep. He's talking about going to a petting zoo, and Obama's telling him that's an elementary school.
Hairy legs.
Yeah, that's not a petting zoo.
I know about the roaches. I learned about the roaches.
Did you see that meme where Biden's like, hey, we're going to the petting zoo. We're going to the petting zoo. And Obama says, we're going to a elementary school to read books to kids. And and Biden goes, same thing.
Same thing. Same thing.
And breaking today, this is important. The Attorney General, Bill Barr, said Joe and Barack, they may not likely face persecution in the Durham probe as of now. Okay? Now, while the media mob is, well, visibly breathing a collective sigh of relief, they're actually missing the powerful message from the Attorney General. Pay very close attention. because the headline of what his remarks were missed by most people in the mob. Take a look.
Over the past few decades, there have been increasing attempts to use the criminal justice system as a political weapon. What happened to the president in the 2016 election and throughout the first 2 years of his administration was abhorrent. It was a grave injustice, and it was unprecedented in American history. We saw two different standards of justice emerge, one that applied to President Trump and his associates, and the other that applied to everybody else. We can't allow this ever to happen again. The Durham investigation is trying to get to the bottom of what happened.
All right, the Attorney General is right. Those are powerful words. If you listen to them, we must never allow this to happen again. All must be held accountable. The country as we know it, it doesn't exist.